What's going on, guys? Today we're gonna do a dope ass video. I'm gonna be the artist today along with John the man. He's behind the camera. And I wanted to break it down as far as how important lenses are for your music video, especially when you're dealing with a tunnel. I want to show you guys different focal ranges to show you how each lens gives you a different type of look. And yeah, I kind of faked that I'm the artist, and John also did it. We did some gimbal movements, some tripod shots to show you guys how each one plays a big role and why you should own many lenses. You shouldn't shoot everything in one focal range. So it's gonna be a good one. Let's get straight to it. The first thing we're gonna talk about in today's video is gonna be the tripod shots. So when you're working with a tunnel like this, if you wanna go with a tripod shot, I really want to show you guys the different focal ranges that we went with. I used the fisheye lens, which I believe it's an 8mm on a full frame, which is a Sony a7S III. I also used the 14mm, which we all know it's a wide, is the Sony G Master 1.8. I used the Sony 24 1.4 G Master lens, just to show you guys how each lens does. So let's go ahead and play all 4 clips real quick. I'll go ahead and label each lens that we use for each particular clip, and then from there, we'll jump back on and talk about each one.
I'm back in my bag, yo. Conscious. ISO. Diamond. Back in my bag and I ain't gotta brag, I do this shit for real. When we was down and we had nothing, we had to share a meal. We put the shit in overdrive with no steering wheel. Shorty throw that thing back in a pair of heels. Yeah, she be riding on that thing like a...
Alright, so now that you guys watched all the lenses, all the focal ranges, you guys saw how each one did its own. Let's talk about it a little bit, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand how important lenses are. For this particular scene, my favorite out of all, I'm gonna go straight to it. We're gonna straight talk about this lens first, and that's gonna be the fisheye lens. When you're working with a tunnel, a fisheye lens allows you to get so much. It's like a big warping image. It's not gonna be aesthetically pleasing for everybody, but for me personally, I really liked it. As you guys watched, it did such an amazing job. The way it just provided the energy. Like when I went up to the lens, the way it just, any kind of movement, the way it just kind of gives you a certain type of look, it's just different, right? So with the fisheye lens, you're able to get more, but because of the warp, when the artist gets close to the lens, or the, whoever you have talent in front of the camera, if they use their hands, anything, it just adds more energy to it, especially when you're working with a tripod shot. You guys watched the 14mm. The 14mm lens, it's a wide lens, and it still didn't provide the same energy like the fisheye lens. The 14mm was good. It's a wide lens, but it's not wide enough sometimes. And again, that was to show you guys the two differences. Now, as for the 24mm lens, that's considered a wide angle lens. And I feel like that's a starting entry wide lens, because 24mm is not really wide enough when you're working with smaller sets. You don't get much image, out of it. So you guys were able to see the fisheye lens. You guys were able to see the 14mm, and compare those two to a 24 lens. The 24 was kind of really cropped in, and they were all standing in the same place. We didn't change the monopod. We didn't switch it up. So just to show you guys how valuable it is to have different type of focal ranges. Don't stick with one lens. We get it to 24mm is wide, but the 14mm could provide a different look to it. Same thing with the fisheye lens. Just keep that in mind. That's just kind of breaking it down as far as what each lens did for the tripod shot. So now we're gonna go ahead and have my guy John. He's gonna be part of the talent. He's gonna be the guy standing, dancing with the music, and I'm gonna go ahead and just do the gimbal shot and show you guys also all those lenses that I just talked about, showcase the differences of that each one provides. So let's go ahead and show each one.
We put the shit in overdrive with no steering wheel. Shorty throw that thing back in a pair of heels. Yeah, she be riding on that thing like a Ferris wheel. Yeah, I love them dark skin, brown skin, caramel. I had to bring it to the hood like she Karen Civil when she keep on turning head, cause when she walk that thing jiggle, jiggle. And we going back to back on them like we Huey and we Riley. This that back in my back flow, we back again so highly. This that back in my back flow, we back to change the climate. This that back in my...
All right, so yeah, John is a man of his own, right? You guys gotta love his moves, but I think he did better. But leave a comment below, who killed it? Was it me or John? I'm really curious. Really think John killed it over me. But let's get started with the first lens that we used for the gimbal, and that was the 50mm 1.4 Sigma art lens. And that one, as you're pushing in, notice when you're working with a tunnel like this, you don't have much movement. There's only so much before you're kind of going too far out, or it just doesn't show too much of the scene. It doesn't have an aesthetic look with this type of look. However, if you want tight shots and you're with a gimbal, it can play off. But again, the benefit of being with the 50 and showcasing this was more of just to show you the compression. As you get closer, you're able to get that depth of field. It just gets stronger and stronger as you get closer to the artist or whoever you have talent in front of you. So that was kind of to show you that. Now, the reason why I really wanted to dive into on this one on the gimbal side is because now this is where you really start seeing the difference. So we did a push and shot on all three lenses. The other three lenses, which is the fisheye, the 14mm, and the 24 lens. So this is where you guys start seeing, like, everyone has a 24mm standard, right? For the most part, every filmmaker that I know owns a 24mm. And I always try to make a set that, you know, helps a 24mm. That's like the standard that I always try to go for all my sets. Can a 24mm work with it? If it does, it passes my test. And you guys saw the 24, it didn't do a bad job. However, the tunnel doesn't look as long. It doesn't look as energetic or as pleasing. If you're trying to shoot a music video here, it's not really gonna give you that type of look. It was cool enough, but you're limited. So now let me show you guys the 14mm as you guys already watched, so you guys can really see the differences. I'm gonna do a side by side, as a matter of fact, 14mm and the 24, to show you how much more movement you get between the two. And the 14mm feels like the tunnel is a lot longer. You have more pushing steps. You get a whole different image with the 14mm opposed to 24. You have fewer steps. And it just looks different. The 14mm, you're able to get a wide shot. Like, you can definitely push out. You make the tunnel feel longer. You make the space feel bigger. So 14mm is one reason why I always tell everyone, make sure you have like something super wide in your camera bag. You never know when you're in a situation where you want to utilize this property. I'm not saying the 24 is not going to look good, but the 14 does give it a whole different look. It makes it look bigger. It gives it just more, just the aesthetic of it. I don't know how to explain it. You guys are watching the visuals, so you guys know what I'm talking about. 14 over 24 for me on this. So that's just to show you guys the differences in these wide lenses. There's other lenses you guys can counter that are even wider and make it look dope. Now, to finish this video off, this is where it gets funny. John told me, dude, just put the fisheye on the gimbal. And I was like, you're an idiot. But I'm normally the type of guy that will use a fisheye on a tripod just because I like the artist getting close to it. But he said, try it, and I said, fuck it, let's do it. So I put it on the on the gimbal. I did the push and shot, and that thing looked crazy. It actually didn't look bad. That's the weird part. It looked a lot wider than it did for the 14mm. You guys are watching the two differences. Let me put the side by side. The 14mm and the 8mm, super big difference. One's super warpy. The other one is warpy, but not really. You know, it has still a wide look. It doesn't have a fisheye look. So you're seeing two different aesthetics. The fisheye can make it look cool for like a male artist, but if you're working with like a female artist, maybe she wouldn't like the fisheye. The 14mm is a better fit. But we just did the fisheye just to really see what it looks like on a gimbal pushing. I never had a fisheye on a gimbal. I always had it on a tripod. So it was cool to try it out. And you guys even got to see the experiment on both lenses being side by side and seeing the difference on them. So this is really just fun to really just make this video and show you guys different focal ranges and how each one gave a different aesthetic look, a different energy, a different mood. Every lens is gonna give you a different look, you know. 50mm gives you more compression. Like 50, 85, 100mm, anything going up is gonna give you more compression. It's gonna give you a whole different look compared to these wide lenses that we tried. But even these wide lenses, as they got wider, it provided a whole different look. So today was really to show you guys the power of lenses and why you guys, when you guys are starting off as a filmmaker, if you guys are starting off or like in the middle of it all and you guys are trying to spend money on these camera equipment, yes, you know, having a good camera is gonna be good to have, but if you don't have the proper lenses, you're not gonna be able to achieve certain looks. Lenses are gonna help you a lot. You guys already know my 101 when it comes to lighting. Lighting is key to me, but lenses go right next to it because the lenses are gonna give you the aesthetic image that we all just want. So just keep that in mind, guys. Next time you guys are in the market, or if you're in the market right now, how valuable lenses are, and put that first before the camera. All right, so if this video did help you guys, drop it a like. If you guys want to see more videos like this or have any certain idea, drop a comment below so I can try to do my best to make that video going forward. And as I stated, we're on the road. We're being consistent on YouTube, and that's what I'm trying to do going forward. My guy John's gonna be helping me, hopefully, you know, if he doesn't get tired of this, because this is very hard work and it's hot. We're sweating in the warehouse. So we're gonna wrap it up. Catch you guys next time. Subscribe to this channel if you guys haven't. Peace out.